Hi and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about photographing the ruby crown kinglet and the golden crown kinglet. So come along and enjoy this adventure. Well, here in the United States we have two species of kinglets. We have the ruby crown kinglet and we have the golden crown kinglet. And if you live in North America, United States, Canada, or Alaska, you have these kinglets in your area sometime during their life cycle. So here in North Carolina, we have the birds here during the winter time, which makes it an exciting time to find them because there's not a lot of leaves in the tree and it can be a real interesting time to be birding. So today I'm going to talk about where you can find these birds and the difference between the two species of birds. Well, the kinglet likes to associate with any kind of evergreen tree or even thick cover that you can find somewhere. They're very good for associating with that. They also associate with other birds, so they like to be with chickadees, titmice, creepers, any kind of like that. So if you see a small flock of birds or you hear chickadees calling, check that area out because usually a kinglet will be with them. They also respond very well to pishing. So going psh, 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 can bring them in. I gotta tell you, the ruby crown kinglet will respond very positively to that. I've had them land a couple of feet away from me as I'm pishing. So pishing is an excellent way to draw in these birds. So they're relatively easy to find, and once you find them, they're not hard to photograph. Well, the ruby crown kinglet is an olive green bird. It has this very dominant eye ring on it, so that makes it a fairly easy bird to identify. Here in North Carolina, we don't have any other birds that look even remotely like it, so if you see an olive green, a tiny little olive green bird with a big eye ring, it is a ruby crown kinglet. This bird, like I said, associates with evergreen forest, but you can find them in any kind of forest area where there are other birds. They do like to be with chickadees and titmice and creepers. So if you get those birds moving around and calling and you watch, and like I said, all those birds respond to pishing, you go psh, 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 psh. This bird will come in, and they will come in at eye level. The ruby crown kinglet likes to be low to the ground cover, so you'll see them 6 or 8 feet off the ground. And I've had them land 4 or 5 feet off the ground, 6, 7 feet away. So these birds will come really close to you. So you just gotta be patient. If you start calling, just stand still and wait for that bird to come to you. Especially if there's other birds around you, just keep your eye open because they seem to be constantly moving. If you can get on them and get those pictures, you just take lots of pictures because you're gonna take a lot of bad ones. But I have to tell you, ruby crown kinglets are an exciting bird to take pictures, and they're a relatively easy bird to take pictures of. Well, out of the two of them, the golden crown kinglet is probably the more beautiful or more colorful of the two birds. And the reason for that is that it has this golden crest on the top that you can see all the time. Now, like the ruby crown kinglet, it will flash its crest and have this giant crest sticking off of its head. But generally speaking, here in North Carolina in the wintertime, that crest is just laying flat on top of the head. But unlike the ruby crown kinglet, where the ruby crown kinglet likes to be low in the forest, the golden crown kinglet likes to be higher in the forest. So you'll see them usually not below 10-12 feet off the ground. And these two birds actually evolved together, so they kind of have split the forest in half. One takes the lower half, one takes the upper half. And like the golden crown or like the ruby crown kinglet, the golden crown kinglet will respond to fishing. It is found with other birds. It will associate with birds. One of the big differences between the golden crown kinglet and the ruby crown kinglet is that the golden crown kinglets are usually in small flocks of 3 to 8 birds, where the ruby crown kinglet is a much more solitary bird. But other than that, these two birds are relatively easy to find. They're relatively easy to take pictures of. And it's one of those birds that I really, really enjoy taking pictures of. Again, both these birds are much easier to photograph earlier in the day or just before sunset than they are in the middle of the day that we're in right now. But they can be a very exciting bird. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got anything useful out of it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel because that really helps us in the YouTube world. Become a Patreon member. Your support allows us to keep doing this. My name is Leahy, and I want to thank you for watching.